Hello, and welcome to Virtual Investor Conferences. My name is Anthony, and on behalf of OTC Markets, we're very pleased you have joined us for our next live presentation from AbraSilver Resource Corp. Please note, you can submit questions for the presenter in the box to the left of the slides. You can also view a company's availability for one-on-one meetings through the Schedule Meetings tab found on the conference platform. At this point, I'm very pleased to welcome John Miniotis, Chief Executive Officer of AbraSilver Resource Corp, which trades on the OTCQX Best Market under the symbol ABBRF and on the TSXV under the symbol ABRA. Welcome, John.
Excellent. Thanks very much, Anthony, and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for your attention. It's my pleasure to walk you through the AbraSilver story. This is actually excellent timing for our company. We've just announced a number of very, very important milestones, and we certainly have a lot of catalysts to look forward to over the upcoming months. So happy to walk you through the story. Of course, as always, there'll be some forward-looking disclaimers made as part of the presentation here. So AbraSilver, our key asset is called Diablilos. This is an advanced stage silver and gold exploration asset, and it's situated in the Salta province of Argentina, which is a very, very mining-friendly province there. Lots of developments going on in Argentina and specifically in Salta that are very, very positive for mining. And so Diablilos, our key asset, this is a project that's been around for quite some time. The initial discovery was made back in the 90s. So it's a project that's been around for 30 plus years. But around 4 years ago, the start of January 2020 is when myself and our current management team took over running the company. Since that time, we've had some very, very successful exploration campaigns. And we've literally doubled the size of the existing resource that we have in the ground here over the last 4 years now. So we're now sitting on quite a large resource base, over 260 million ounces on a silver equivalent basis. So over 250 million ounces of silver equivalent in the ground. This is entirely precious metals, so 100% precious metals focused, silver and gold, no zinc, lead, copper, or other sort of byproducts. So 100% precious metal focused, and it's near surface, open pittable in oxides. So very cheap, efficient to mine as well and process. Now, one of the recent milestones that we announced last month was that we completed a pre-feasibility study. So this is quite an advanced stage economic study and based only on the existing reserves that we have identified to date and using quite conservative commodity price assumptions. This project has roughly about a 500 million US net present value. So a nice, robust project with a good, healthy rate of return, a very quick payback. And so this is a project that's going to be producing here in the next few years. The average production profile is over 13 million ounces a year on a silver equivalent basis with very low all-in sustaining cash costs of less than $12.50 an ounce. So again, this is high margin, robust project, but what's really exciting is the exploration path that we have ahead of us here. And so we'll talk about that momentarily. But just looking quickly, importantly, it's always very important to note the top shareholders of any company. We're in a very, very fortunate position. So we have some very high profile shareholders. Just a few weeks ago, we announced a $20 million financing, which was completely taken up by two key strategic shareholders. So Kinross Gold invested $10 million in us at a premium with no warrants, so very, very favorable conditions to our existing shareholders in exchange for 4% equity interest. And then importantly, Argentina's largest energy provider, Central Puerto. This is a blue chip company, trades on the New York Stock Exchange, over $1.5 billion US dollar market cap. And again, the largest utility provider in Argentina. They also participated at the exact same terms. So in total, we raised $20 million, very favorable terms. And in exchange, gave up 8% of the company to these very long-term oriented shareholders And we see ourselves as partners with both of those companies going forward. And so we've actually also set up some committees, some technical committees, where we'll be meeting with Kinross on a regular basis, and also some other advisory committees with Central Puerto. And so we see them not only as providing, the cash that we needed to finalize the next drill campaign, but importantly, it's a very strategic relationship for us as we're looking to advance Diablillos towards that construction decision. Now, where our project is located, this is in the northwestern part of Argentina. This is in a established mining jurisdiction. So Salta has been ranked by the Fraser Institute and by a number of others as being one of the most investor-friendly jurisdictions in all of Latin America, not just in Argentina. But certainly right now, I think Argentina is very, very well positioned with the new administration coming in power over the last 4 months here, and looking, to make Argentina much more investor-friendly on the fiscal regime. So looking to lower corporate taxes, eliminate export duties, and make mining, front and center in Argentina. But Salta, the province that we're in, mining's already booming. So we're surrounded with nothing but mines. So there's 4 major lithium projects being built all around us. They encircle our Diablillos project. And then we have other very well-known companies operating in the same province as well, whether that's Barrick, Anglo Gold, First Quantum, Fortuna, etc., Rio Tinto, of course. And so this is an established mining jurisdiction. And we feel very confident saying Diablillos is now extremely well positioned to become the next mining project to enter that construction phase within the next few years here. You can see what the project looks like at site. So it's about 4,200 meters elevation, so quite high elevation, but importantly, it's a dry desert-like environment. So very little snowfall here on any given year. So we drill 12 months. So we drill year-round here, 12 months per year. And again, there's no vegetation. The nearest community is about 2 hours away, and they're there specifically for mining. And so this is a part of the world that welcomes open pit mining. And again, a very, very favorable mining region for us. Now, what's important when you look at exploration companies, obviously the track record needs to be there. I think our exploration team is really in a league of their own. I mean, on the silver side, we've now completed 3 different exploration campaigns over the last 4 years. Each one of those, we've been able to significantly grow the resource on an extremely cost-efficient basis. So for any given drill campaign we've recently completed, we've grown the resource size in the ground by between 20 to up to 35%. And each of those campaigns have cost us between $5 to $8 million US. So on a rate of return, as we look at our historical exploration costs, essentially for every 11 cents we've spent on exploration, we've been able to add an ounce in the ground, and that's in the measured and indicated category. So we're not even counting inferred category. We're in the measured and indicated category. And importantly, a lot of that now has fallen into the proven and probable reserve category. And that was the basis of our recent pre-feasibility study. So great track record by our exploration team, led by David O'Connor, who lives down in Salta in Argentina. And he has an excellent team there working with him. Now, just a quick summary of our pre-feasibility study. Again, we announced this just over a month ago. In late March, we announced this pre-feasibility study. Again, based only on the existing reserves, which fall mainly into 2 deposits. So we have the one main deposit, which is called Oculto, and then to the southwest, we recently discovered a high-grade extension of that main deposit, and that's called the Jack deposit. And so there's essentially 2 main pits here that would be mined out at 9,000 ton per day throughput capacity. So this is a large-scale project here. we already have a mine life of just over 13 years based only on reserves. And again, importantly, when you look at the scale that this project offers over the first 5 years, this has very, very high grades, especially. So we'd be producing roughly 18 million ounces a year of silver equivalent. And you can see the breakdown between silver and gold. So again, it's important to keep in mind this is 100% precious metals here, and a very, very low, attractive all-in sustaining cash costs of under $10 an ounce. And that's your all-in sustaining cash costs, which have just very recently been updated. And so we just came out with these numbers. The capital cost is below 400 million US. The all-in sustaining costs offer very, very healthy margins, even at current spot prices, and even materially below current spot prices, I would say. Now, when you look at the production profile, I mean, clearly what sticks out is if you look at this chart, between years 1 through 5, that's when we'll be mining the highest grade portions of the main Oculto deposit. And also during that time, we'll be mining the smaller but higher grade Jack deposit as well. So the high grades come out right up front in the production profile, which of course is ideal over that 5-year period per year, assuming $23.50 silver and $18.50 gold. This is a project that would be generating over $155 million per year in after-tax free cash flow. So this is after all sustaining capex, etc. So this is a large-scale project. When you look at the current Silver Institute that just came out with their annual survey about a month ago now, this project would actually position comfortably within the top 10 largest silver mines in the world. So I think it's either 6th or 7th position within the first 5 years here, based on the production profile. So we truly have a world-class project here in terms of scale, in terms of grade. This is a project that's affordable with an all-in capital cost less than $400 million US, and a project that will be operating at very, very comfortable margins, even in sort of depressed silver price environments. Now, importantly, of course, beyond the pre-feasibility study, there's a number of options, a number of levers that we're looking to pull on here in the near future to unlock additional upside. And so most importantly is that we're going to start commencing our next phase of exploration here very, very shortly. So this is the phase 4 exploration campaign. We'll be disclosing some additional details shortly on this campaign. But now that we're fully funded, we have $24 million Canadian in the bank. So we're fully funded for the next leg of growth here. And so we'll be announcing commencement of drilling here very shortly, and then a bankable feasibility study, which we expect to complete by the end of 2025. So we're moving this project aggressively, moving it forward quickly here. And there's a number of opportunities. First and foremost is to continue to identify other high-grade targets. And so just like we did in 2023, where we discovered this high-grade extension that we call the Jack Zone, we'll be drilling some of the other regional targets as well, looking for higher grade silver mineralization that we can bring into the mine plan. There's also a significant number of material right now that we've just treated as waste, which is just marginally below the current cutoff grade. We're actually commencing some study work right now, looking to see if we can reduce the amount of waste and process that lower grade material, either through other low-cost options like heap leaching, or even possibly bringing it into the CIL plant that we'll have at site. And then importantly as well, in Argentina right now, I understand just recently, one of the reform bills that was proposed by Javier Milei, the country's new president, was just passed in the House of Representatives, looking to lower the corporate tax rate from 35% to 25%. This bill also reduces export duties or eliminates export duties after the first 2 years for any large investment, and introduces several other favorable measures. And so this is a reform package now that just needs final Senate approval and then becomes legislation. and that would have a material positive impact on the economics of our project and really all large investments in Argentina. So again, a country that's really moving in the right direction, and I think AbraSilver is extremely well positioned to capitalize on that. Now, when you look at the torque that we offer to rising silver and gold prices, I mentioned based on the pre-feasibility study commodity prices, which were quite conservative, this project already had close to 500 million US net present value. If you update that, though, to today's prices, it's closer to 800 million US or just over a billion Canadian. And so on a Canadian net present value per share would be about $1.70 per share. That's based only on the reserves that we have based on our pre-feasibility study figures. And where we're trading at today, we're still trading at less than 30 cents on the dollar of that underlying value. And so, we're trading very, very cheaply here still. I think it's, important inflection point here for ourselves and for the industry as commodity prices are finally starting to improve over, the last couple of years have obviously tested everyone's patience here. We've been quite conservative, conserving cash. Now that we've raised cash at very favorable terms, and obviously gold and silver prices are picking up steam, I think we're extremely well positioned to now become aggressive on the exploration side and really look to grow this project and advance it all the way to a construction decision here very shortly. Now, we probably won't have time to get into too much of the technical slides here, but just to give you a sense of the proposed layout, again, this is all the entire Diablillos project is right now the resource, the reserve is located in oxides. This is close to surface. And that's one of the reasons that we've been able to be so cost efficient with our drilling. When you look at Jack, you can see that's the southwest sort of extension of the main deposit there. This is located shallow. So most of the drill holes we drilled at Jack were down to a depth of only 200 meters. So the mineralization starts at about 50 meters below surface and goes down to 200 meters. And then you transition into sulfides, which we have not yet really tested. And so we've only been focused on the low-hanging fruit, which is the near-surface oxide mineralization. We've defined a large-scale, robust project already. There's several other areas that we'll be drilling, again, testing oxides as well. But then there's a bigger prize here when you start looking at this and considering the sulfide potential as well. And so we're evaluating the next drill campaign, as I mentioned, and looking to potentially be drilling some of the sulfides that we have here. And we also have sulfides identified in other areas of this project as well. So more information will soon be available on this, but we're extremely, extremely excited with the upcoming drill campaign that we're now planning out. Again, when we ran geophysics, we saw there was this big magnetic low anomaly. That's the way we discovered that high-grade Jack zone. And so there was a number of other anomalies that we didn't have time to drill out completely last year. And so that's going to, again, be one of the high priority exploration targets for us, is continuing to target oxides near surface, high grades, near the existing resources that we've already identified here. Now, I mentioned this is a project that has scale. Certainly, when you look at this as a primary silver asset, there's clearly a scarcity of, I'd say, high quality, high scale primary silver projects out there. This is certainly one that does check off those boxes. So we have over 250 million ounces on a silver equivalent basis already in the measured and indicated category. And when you compare that to other primary silver producing companies out there, you can see this is a project that really could fit the bill for a number of companies going on down the road. And as we bring this into production, could really position the operator here as being a mid-tier producing silver company. Now, When you look at the gold, so from a gold equivalent standpoint, the economics in the pre-feasibility were roughly 60% silver, 40% gold. And so it's a very good balance between both precious metals there. If you convert all the silver we have into gold, that would equate to over 3.2 million ounces of gold that we have already. But what's important is, and what stands out the most, I'd say here, relative to other open pitable gold projects, is really the grade profile. So our overall average grade is just under 2 grams per ton here, and that's over the entire 13-year mine life. Now, importantly, over the first 5 years, we're producing from the higher grade zones. The average grade profile on a gold equivalent standpoint would be north of 2.5 grams. So it's literally off the charts here. So again, that's one of the primary reasons that the operating cash costs are so low, and you have such excellent, robust margins at current gold and silver prices. And so Diablillos is certainly our focus. That's where we're spending all of our efforts, really looking forward to the upcoming drill campaign. We think there's going to be a number of catalysts here coming up, and then advancing Diablillos to that construction decision. So we'll be looking to submit EIA permits as well very, very shortly. And then the next phase will be completing a bankable feasibility study. So Diablillos, and we're now fully funded to get to that construction decision stage. And so clearly, very, very exciting for us. Now, importantly, we also have a secondary project as well. So this is in the San Juan province of Argentina. So this is in southern Argentina. San Juan's very well known for having world-class copper projects along the border with Chile. And so to the north, there's Jose Maria, Filo del Sol, NGX, the whole Vicuña district, which is unquestionably a world-class copper region right now that's rapidly growing. And then to the south of us, we have our closest neighbors located about 50 kilometers to the south of us. That's Los Azules. So that's owned by McEwen Mining, spinning that off to McEwen Copper. And so this is a region that hosts multiple billion-ton plus large-scale copper porphyries. Now, a few years back, we consolidated a huge land package here, consisting of about 70,000 hectares, or about 700 square kilometers. So massive, unexplored land package. And then in January, we announced a partnership with Teck. So Teck Resources has now just completed the first drill campaign here at La Coipita. And so we signed this deal with them in January, whereby Teck could earn up to 80% interest in this project by spending the next $20 million on drilling this over the next few years, by paying $3 million to us, and then by making all of the option payments to the original vendors. And so in total, they'll be spending about $30 million to earn up to 80%. And of course, their goal is to discover a world-class copper project here. Of course, we're mutually aligned with them. They're very, very capable operators, of course. So we're very happy to have them as our partners here. And then, in the event they earn in to the 80% interest, we'd be left with a minority 20% stake here, and hopefully a world-class copper project. And then we'd look to evaluate our options on how best to monetize that for our existing shareholders. So again, very excited to be in this part of Argentina, which is really booming, and looking forward to having some more news here to announce as we get back assay results from the initial drill campaign that Teck's just recently completed. So with that, I just want to leave enough time for Q&A. I think just a quick summary, though, from my end. AbraSilver is a company that's really transformed over the last 4 years now. But I think, and I feel strongly, actually, that the best times are still ahead of us here. And so now that we're fully funded, this is a project that's advanced very nicely up until this stage. We have a very robust pre-feasibility study already. And now the fun starts where we can step out, look to drill some additional targets, really grow this, and then bring this to that construction decision stage within the next few years. And so myself, the current team, we're extremely, extremely excited. And we think, the stars seem to be aligning here with gold and silver prices picking up, with things significantly improving in Argentina. At the federal level, Salta has always been great. And now, federally, Argentina's, we're, undergoing quite a transition, I would say. I think AbraSilver is ideally positioned to take advantage of this window here. And so, with that, happy to answer any questions that anybody may have. I know there's a chat Q&A box here. I'll open that and see if there are any questions. So the first question I see, I can read out loud here. So thoughts on our valuation, and if undervalued, what are the catalysts for revaluation? So I'd say ourselves, most of our peers at this stage in the market are extremely undervalued. I showed that slide where we're trading at less than 0.3 times the price to NAV. And so I think, historically, when you look at, other valuations throughout time, high quality primary silver projects have historically traded at upwards of even 1 times NAV. So 1 times NAV or higher is frequently the case for high grade, high quality primary silver projects. We obviously still have a lot of catching up to do, but importantly, we're working towards increasing the net present value. We don't think that's going to stay constant here. We think as we grow the resource, as we continue to drill here, especially now that we're fully funded, I think that funding overhang is removed from our story. Clearly, the markets reacted very positively to the recent flow of news that we've had. So I think, look, as we keep doing what we've been doing for the last few years now, which is drilling, really growing this project, and then moving it forward. So as you move the project forward by getting the permits, by completing bankable feasibility studies, etc., you'll see a re-rating, and hopefully we'll trade much closer to that 1 times net present value. There's another question here. Are there any other silver, zinc, lead byproducts? If so, why not include on silver equivalent? No. So our entire resource is only focused on the oxides, which is only silver and gold. There is copper down beneath in the sulfides. So there's copper, gold in the sulfides, but we have not yet drilled that to a density sufficient to place that into a mineral resource. And so we don't have any mineral resource on the sulfides as of yet. That could change with additional drilling. But for now, the focus up until now, the focus has been on the oxides, where 100% of that is focused on silver and gold. And so the copper has been leached out from the oxides. It's still present in the sulfides. And so the only other byproduct credit that we've identified to date is copper. And we could be drilling for that with the upcoming drill campaign. Another question here. Can you intro your team and expertise operating in South America? Yes. Our team is really based down in South America. So myself, our CFO, we're based out of Toronto, but the rest of the team lives in Argentina. And that's specifically the region that we've been focused on for the last 5+ years here. So our team's led on the technical side by David O'Connor, who's our chief geologist, very, very experienced. He's been doing, he's been a geologist for over 50 years now. He's lived in all regions across South America. He's visited thousands of projects. And he's, now based out of Argentina for us over the last 4 years. And at site, we have some very, very capable exploration geologists. All of those are Argentinian. The vast majority actually have graduated from the University of Salta, which has an excellent geology program there. So a lot of homegrown talent running the show here down in Salta. And we're extremely pleased with the team we have. And obviously the track record speaks for itself when you look at, the progress they made over the last 4 years, and especially when you consider the low cost that to run those drill campaigns. I think they've done an excellent job for us, and I have every confidence in them moving forward. They'll be able to replicate that success. So with that, I'd just like to thank everyone. It seems like we're out of time here. Thank you again. And if anyone has any follow-up questions, please feel free to email me. Thank you.